Hi, this is Real Talk with Al. I'm Al Reynolds, Project Director for Neighborhood Initiatives at Literacy Inc. Link provides literary support to children and families while making learning fun. Link is also part of the READS Initiative, where 10 literacy organizations work with children from birth to fifth grade to help them succeed in school. Real Talk with Al is all about the 2020 census and how important it is to be counted. Today with me, I am so excited to have my dear friend Dawn Kelly with me. Dawn Kelly is the CEO of the Spot, a family-owned and operated healthy food, smoothie, and natural juice bar located in Jamaica, Queens, New York. In May 2019, the Spot was named Micro Business of the Year by the United States Small Business Administration. And Kelly and her children have received numerous honors and recognition for her community partnerships. The Spot is also a literacy zone for Link and South Jamaica Reads, where she gives out free books provided by the Reads Initiative and hosts literacy activities. She is one of our most loyal community partners. Dawn, welcome.
Thank you, Al. Thank you so much. I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted to participate on this podcast with you today. This is really, really nice. And you know, I love Literacy Inc. because
Yes.
why? I love to read. I've always loved to read from a little girl. It was always been my escape from real life, and that continues on to today. So thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So I want you to tell me a little bit more about you because you have a big bio and tell me about your Black-owned business, the Spot.
Well, I am a child of New York City. I actually was born in Harlem, actually in Harlem Hospital, and I wear that badge proudly. But my parents, they moved on up to Queens, and I was raised all around Jamaica, Queens, New York. I lived in, first we lived in Astoria, and then we moved into Jamaica, Queens, Southeast Queens, and I lived in Cambria Heights and Laurelton, and now I reside in the home that my grandfather bought when he came home from World War II. It's so funny. The other day, I actually found the deed to the house where my grandfather and his mom purchased the house in 1954, and I'm still living in it. So, you know the term grandfathered. We actually are grandfathered in to our home. So, I worked for York College. I've had a very long career before becoming an entrepreneur. I served as a public relations specialist for over 30 years. And the last gig that I held was for Prudential Financial in Newark, New Jersey. Yes, I traveled over the Long Island Railroad, the New Jersey Transit, and another bus to get to work every day for 16 years. But I would tell you that I loved my job. I loved what I did because I love the art of public relations, promoting people, places, and things. And that's one of the skills that I had to bring to bear on behalf of the Spot. So in 2015, my role at Prudential was eliminated. And, you know, since we are in this time, this cataclysmic time, and we're talking about the intersectionality of race and class, I would tell you that I believe that my job being eliminated had a lot to do with both of those things. But God is good, and we won't stay there. God had a bigger plan for me, and he showed me and my children how to start our own smoothie, juice, and salad bar. And we started it right around the corner from where we live. So so it is really, really special to be able to open up a business in the community where your family has such long-standing ties, okay?
Yes.
Many of the people in this community would be marveled to know that my family's roots have been here
Mm-hmm.
in Jamaica since the 50s, 1950s.
Wow. Yeah, and we have that in common. I'm so funny. I live in Harlem now. You're originally from Harlem, and I
Yes.
was born and raised in South Jamaica, Queens. So
Yes, we did
it's
the vice versa.
it's so funny. That's great.
Right.
But you know what I like about the Nourish Spot, Dawn? It's not only a great place where you just go and get great food and drinks. It's a community meeting space. It's where people from the neighborhood, we come in, we catch up on current events, or we just chill back and just shoot the breeze and laugh, you know? And I know when I'm there, I hate to leave, but I have to go to work. So,
Yes, that's one of the things that I love about the Nourish Spot, and I'm proud that we have it because before COVID, the Nourish Spot was a community gathering space.
hmm,
It was a place where no matter your age, your ethnicity,
right.
your job, everybody was the same here. We all had the same goal, and we just wanted to be healthy and happy and strong. And so one of the things that we do here is we share information.
Yes.
And it's not just about food.
Right.
We share information about jobs. We share
Hmm.
information about opportunities, grants, programs like Literacy Inc. I mean,
Hmm.
listen, it was like a no-brainer to become partner with Literacy Inc. Right? At the beginning of this conversation, I talked about how I love books, and
Right.
so many of your members are customers of the Nourish Spot.
Yes.
So it's a win-win. We become partners with you, and all those little beautiful children, black and brown children that come into the Nourish Spot, when they see those books, between the books and the fruit, their eyes light
I
up,
know.
and
I
they
know.
and they don't know where to grab from. They don't know if they should be grabbing from the books or grabbing from the fruit. They just get so excited, and
Right.
and
Right.
and, and I really really enjoy the excitement of the children. One, seeing us as I'm in here mostly, so they see a black woman owning a store, and
Hmm.
that's a question for many of the kids. They're like, Miss Dawn, is this yours?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And they're like, really? Like, that's possible? So
Yeah.
that's what I like. I like serving as a beacon of hope and possibility to the young people in the community. And look, so even some of the people that are my age that are still figuring out, what they want to do with their lives.
Right.
I realize this every single day, every single moment of the day, we get to change,
That's
and we
right.
get to
That's right.
decide what we want to do with our life. So whatever you were doing 5 minutes ago, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You can do something
Hmm.
new. And COVID has shown all of us that it's very smart of us to learn how to pivot, right?
That's right.
So that you can kind of, whatever hurdles or obstacles are thrown your way, you can kind of pivot like the football players do, like roll around.
Right.
Okay, so you can get to whatever your goal is, because my
Right.
goal and your goal are different, right? And so we all just need to learn how to pivot and get to the goals and accomplish the goals we want, because nothing should stand in your way of that.
Yeah, and you're so well known there. I mean, you walk down Guyo Brewer Boulevard, and it's like you're a movie star. So I appreciate you taking time here with me. So I want to talk about the census for a minute.
Okay.
So we hear that being counted is so important because it determines the services for our neighborhoods. Does it affect local businesses? And if so, how?
Yes, it does. And I'm so happy that Literacy Inc. is explaining to its members about the importance of the census. This opportunity only comes around every 10 years.
Right.
So you think about it, if you have a young child in your house that's 1 to 10, you as the parent or the older sibling, what you're doing by filling out the census is you're impacting the world that your younger sibling or your child will live in 10 years from now. So it's really, really, really important for individuals to fill out the census. But for businesses, when you told me you were going to ask me that question, I said, let me go do some research. Again, like to read, so I don't mind researching, right? So I did some research and I found some really interesting information. So first of all, when you're going to start a business, you have to do some research, right? You have to figure out what the demographic is of the people in your neighborhood, their ages, their ethnicities, their behaviors, their habits, their socioeconomic class. That means how much money they have, okay? And the census data is the data where you get that information from. You know how many people live in your community. So if people are not completing the census, then entrepreneurs like myself won't have an accurate picture of the populace, of the citizenry that they are going to service one day. I also heard a really good example of why it's important to fill out the census. So I know we're in COVID and we're, talking about schools and all, but let's just forget COVID for a second.
Okay.
And think like we're about to go back to open the schools again and everybody's about to go. So if there are 150 families in this particular community, but only 100 families fill out the census, but there's 150 kids because there's 150 families.
Right.
So only 100 families fill out the census. When those kids go back to school, 50 kids won't have what they need for school. And so that means the other 100 are going to have to share when every single child could have had a book or a pencil or a chair or a desk. So it's really, really important for people to understand that everybody needs to be counted. That's it. They don't want your social security number. They don't want your phone number. All they want to know is how many people live in your home. That's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna say to all my peeps out there, come on now, y'all. Do the right thing. Fill out the census.
Well, Dawn, you did your homework. Thank you on that. And to be honest with you, I had no idea how the census affect a local business. Like that makes sense, right?
Yes,
Before you go and think about to open up your own business, you have to check out the neighborhood first. How many people live there? How much money they make? All of those things. So that makes sense.